Hello, welcome to another edition of Digital Marketing Masterclass discussion series. We're here with Charles Parisi, who's the CEO of Cloudcast Media. And his topic today is analog principles in a digital world, selling to humans. And welcome to the show, by the way, Charles.
Aaron and Alex, great to be with you.
Yeah, this is awesome. Excited to connect with you on this.
And thanks for the topic, Charles. Let's jump in. So we've got the first subtopic we're going to chat about today, building trust through authentic human connection. So building trust, authentic human connection. Let's chat about that, guys.
Yeah. Well, Alex, you want to kick that one off?
Wow. Well, I feel like it's a big topic. From our end, the way we approach it, like when we're thinking about marketing and sales from an automated perspective, a lot of people think automation is the opposite of authenticity, right? But what's happened is we've been able to. That's the challenge we're trying to overcome, right? We're trying to connect with people who have a real need or desire or want, and talk to them about what they really care for, and connect them with salespeople who have more information and more interest in how they can actually take care of that customer, right? So we have a lot more data to work with than we ever did before. But still, with all that data, we can either go one way or another, which one is genuine helping of people or organizations, and the other is really cheesy, inauthentic, what people think of as bad sales. And we run into the kind of dichotomy there, and a lot of the ways that we try and bridge that is through training. But I wonder what your thoughts are in like a data-rich environment where you're dealing with numbers at scale and all this stuff. How do you create authenticity?
Yeah.
Human connection.
Well, listen, that's a great question. Aaron, you want me to kind of jump in a little bit on that one?
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned the word trust, because I actually think that whether it's a functioning democracy like here in America, or a functional sustainable brand, a company, or even a personal brand, I think trust is in fact the most important ingredient. And some of the things that we talk about at our company, where we're working with brands and what we call brand amplification. Brands have an inverse relation. Brands are powerful because they lower purchase price risk. When I buy a certain brand, it's less likely that I'm going to be disappointed or embarrassed that I made that decision. And I think one of the essential components of any great brand, whether it's a brand called America, a brand called ABC Company, or a brand called Aaron Adamson, is trust. And I think that's a really, really important topic to talk about when it comes from a marketing standpoint, because in today's day and age, and Aaron and you and I have always had some sidebar conversations, this digital media centric world we're living in, particularly social, has the ability to be, for lack of a better word, false flags. I call it digital semaphores, that actually are signaling nothing positive or misleading in some cases. Because you can't fake authenticity, in my humble opinion, and you can't fake trust. A long time ago, there was a conversation called the speed of trust, but there's also the speed of mistrust. And I think it's really important for any company to be really drilling in on focusing on trust as truly the most tangible, intangible balance sheet asset that exists. Because you can't do the debits and credits on it, but it's there in a major, major way, worth billions of dollars to big companies, hundreds of billions of dollars, and even for a small entrepreneur, it's everything.
Yeah. Well said, Charles. And authenticity is the key. We are, and Alex touching on the digital aspect of it too. I mean, we have all these great digital tools and data to help furnish discussions, but I think some people are losing track of the human side of it. And I love, Charles, that you mentioned speed of trust and also speed of distrust, because if you over rely on the data and the digital tools that help get you to the conversation table, and you forget that you're connecting with a human being, and you need to ask good questions and listen carefully and have a real conversation, and you're relying more on your automation and not really using the data well in a humanistic way, you're
Yep.
going to get to speed of distrust faster than speed of trust.
No question. Hey, when we spend time, and again, I've been an entrepreneur since I'm 25 years old. I think, Aaron, you know some of these things, and multiple industries, and none of them have any, and many of them have no connection point whatsoever than other than, hey, the common denominator is you're working with human beings. And so therefore a lot of principles can flow when you don't lose sight of the fact that, hey, to my knowledge, we're still selling to humans. And so what, and ultimately here's what I think is important too, is all of marketing can be boiled down to one word. And anyone who, in my humble opinion, disagrees, I would challenge them. It boils down to one word. It's called persuasion. You can call it all the fancy things you want, but everything you do from a marketing standpoint is built to persuade. Now, the key is there's a lot of principles of persuasion that can lead people down a bad path or lead you to a bad product. So I don't use the word persuasion meant to be negative. The key there is your brand attribute should be really good. You want to persuade people for all the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. So sometimes when I see a lot of things happening in the world of digital media, social media particularly, I see a lot of persuasion taking place, but I don't think the underlying product is there. So I just always try to encourage, build trust. Have a truly great product. Then you can use marketing channels and platforms to augment what is already excellent. As opposed to, hey, let me run down this social media thing, create a lot of mind share to try to drive market share, but ultimately, you really haven't built a great business. And so I love entrepreneurship, and I love talking about entrepreneurship and marketing, but getting back to that word, Alex and Aaron, trust, authenticity. Many, many moons ago, because I love physics and Einstein, and plus I used to use it with my daughter at a young age, I created my own formula, I equals PL squared. Your influence is a function of P, your perception, multiplied by your likability squared. Likability is not something easy to fake, believe it or not. Perception is. And I think that's where a lot of brands and companies can use digital media to try to increase their P. But you haven't necessarily truly built a sustainable product. So I always encourage, make sure you've got something really great, a gravitationally attractive brand, a gravitationally attractive product, something that people really want. Then all of the other marketing channels you use can simply augment what is already wonderful and excellent.